In this video, what I want to do is show you some easy things we can do to make our app look more traditional. So for example, if we look down here in the canvas, based on the code that we've looked at before with our VStack and then our for each of the 5 cities that are our favorite cities, we see them sort of listed along like this. But that's not really a traditional way that you would normally see things on the iPhone. You would see it more like a list that has lines between them and just looks prettier and more organized. And if we look over here on the right, basically I have over here my iPhone tied in to my laptop so that you can see it. And the goal is, if you look over here, you'll see 2 list items. And we have the nice line in between. So if there were more of these to have here, these would all be listed out. And so we can see that list items vertically aligned like that is really a neat way to go. And that is more traditional than something like we have in our VStack currently. And of course, if I tap on work, it actually navigates me into the various items that I've identified for work. So I see 2 different videos that I need to make, but you'll notice up here in the upper left how we have a back button, and then that list is naming what we just saw. And so if we tap on that, we can go back up, and so we can navigate down and we can navigate up throughout our app. And so I just wanted to show you that would be a typical way this is done. And so let's see if we can build that into what we're doing now with the current app that we have. All right, so the first thing we want to do is look at the fact that we have this VStack here, and the VStack is saying, hey, just vertically stack all of the elements that are inside, and the number of elements that are inside is going to be based on this for each going over this array. Now, it turns out that list is very similar to VStack, except it also gives us that really nice look with respect to lists that we're used to. So it turns out I can just change VStack to list. And when I do that, you'll notice here on the right how nice that has been reorganized. So we've had everything is now left justified for this particular text right here. And we have a nice line between each list item, and that's great. That would be very traditional. And of course, we can put whatever we want in here. So for example, here's this text. Let's say I wanted to put some icon over here on the right. So I could click on the command and click and say embed in an H stack, right? Because we're going to go horizontally here. And then after this text, I'm going to say spacer so that we get all the way to the right side. And then I can do image, and let's do system name, and let's say circle. I know those exist. And sure enough, now I have a circle over here on the right, which looks like something I could tap on and select. But it's very easy to build out anything that you want inside any one of these elements and have those created as a list. Now, the next common thing that you will probably do is put your lists in what's referred to as a navigation view, and that's going to give us the ability to navigate down into something or to navigate back. And it's also going to give us a toolbar at the top that we can put some additional buttons. So for example, here where we have list, I can hit command and I can say embed, because there isn't already a navigation view set up for us here. I can just click on embed, and then it's given me this placeholder called container, and we can type in navigation view. And when we do that, notice what happened. We got some additional space up here, but that's really it. But that's because that's where a title is going to go for our navigation view. And so one of the interesting things is you would think, well, I would just add a modifier onto this navigation view. So I'm going to come here and collapse this. So here's the navigation view. Here's all the stuff I have inside it. And then right here, I might add a modifier that is the title, the navigation title that we want. But the reality is you don't put it on the view itself, you put it on something inside the view. And the reason for that is as you navigate down into additional views, those views will cause the navigation title to change. And so it's their attribute or modifier that actually sets the title. So here for list, on list, so again, I'm going to use, if I move my cursor there, I can see that, yep, this is the right spot for list. Or I could have come over here and just collapse that for each, and I now see very clearly where the matching brackets are. And I can say navigation title, and I can give it a text of favorite cities. And now I have a navigation title that I put here, and notice how nice that shows up here on the right. So let's take this a little further and let's look at some simple navigation. So what I want to do is, even though I have all of this here, what I would like to do is when I tap on something, I want it to go into a new view. And that view can be as simple as another text view, which is what we'll do to demonstrate this. So in this for each, I'm going to right here add something new, and it's going to be called a navigation link. And when I do that, I'm going to get a bunch of different ways to finish this out. We're going to just do destination and label. That's the simplest one because it's right here where we would tap on it. And the destination is the new view that you want to go to when you tap into it. So that's navigating into the view. So in this case, it's saying text destination. It's giving us that. I'm going to say what we want here is going to be text favorite city. So that's what I'll put here. And then the label is what do we want to actually see here. Now you see what it's done is it's because this H stack is sitting underneath the navigation link, this has gotten a little confused. But let's just take this entire H stack and I'm going to cut it out and I'm going to paste it right here over that text. Now you see that we have the same list that we had before, but notice we have these little right arrows that we've added here. And maybe what I'll do is I'm going to take the spacer and the image out for a second just so it's a little cleaner. And you can see that each one of these looks like you could tap into it and navigate into it. And literally that's all we needed to do, because if I do tap into Chicago, the text view right here is what is showing, and it's saying Chicago. And notice up here at the top, it's saying favorite cities. And if I tap on it, it takes me back to the parent view. And so we have this navigational capability. Let's click on Boston, and sure enough, now it says text Boston. So this is really a great way to sort of start thinking about how your app might navigate from one sort of summary view down into different detail views. And again, this is a common practice used all the time, so you definitely want to learn how to do this. And it literally is on your for each, just enclosing it in a list, enclosing it in a navigation view. So we have our navigation view, we have our list, and we have our for each, and we have our ability to navigate into a new view using NavigationLink. And the link has this destination, so that's where it's going to go when it's tapped. And it has a label, which is basically saying, you know, whatever you put in here is what is going to end up being all of the UI elements that make up whatever this list is.